Hi everyone, Dr. Whitney Costers here. I am an English instructor. I have been teaching college writing for over 20 years. And if you're an instructor like I am, you already know that AI has changed everything. Every semester, it feels like the rules shift. The second we lay down a policy, the technology evolves again. So how do we keep up? And how do we protect the value of writing when our students can generate an essay in seconds? That is exactly what this video is about. I'm going to share the AI policy that I use in my own writing courses. I'm going to explain the philosophy behind it and show you how you can adapt it for your own students. And if you're a student watching, this will help you understand why the process of writing, like your thinking, your voice, your growth, still matters more than anything AI can do. If you do want to skip straight to the policy, use the timestamps below, but I encourage you to watch the whole video because the philosophy is what makes the policy meaningful and sustainable, no matter how AI changes next. Here is the heart of the matter. Writing is not just about producing a polished paper at the end. It is about the messy, frustrating, rewarding process of thinking, wrestling with ideas, finding clarity, and putting your voice on the page. That process is what transforms you. It builds grit, creativity, problem solving, and confidence. And those skills are what carry over when you're in a job interview, in a meeting, or explaining a complex idea to someone in real time. AI just cannot do that for you. Think about it this way. When you learn to play an instrument, you don't become a musician by pressing play on a Spotify playlist. You become one by practicing scales, fumbling through chords, working with a teacher, and slowly building skill until you can create music yourself. The journey is what makes you capable. Writing works the same way. If AI does all the heavy lifting, you will end up with a paper, but you won't end up with the growth, the skill, or the edge that you need in the real world. And that's the edge that you should want, because let's be honest, most of you are here trying to earn a degree so you can get a job if you're a student. Employers aren't just looking for a paper with your name on it. They're looking for a thinker, a communicator, someone who can generate and organize ideas, who can adapt in real time. Writing trains you to do that. If you give the work away to AI, you're giving away your edge. Now, let's talk about where AI does fit. I'm absolutely not against it at all. In fact, I think it can be incredibly useful when used responsibly. AI should be treated like any other resource, like a dictionary, a thesaurus, or spell check. It can help you brainstorm, clarify grammar, or suggest possible directions. It can even give feedback on clarity and organization. But the heart of the writing, the ideas, the arguments, the voice, that has to be yours, because that's the part that makes you better and is what makes you, you. So here's my AI policy for my classes. In this course, AI tools like ChatGPT may be used as resources, but not as replacements for your own writing. You may not submit AI-generated sentences, paragraphs, or papers as your own. Copying directly from AI is full plagiarism. If you use AI at any stage of your writing, you must include a short AI process note with your assignment. That note should explain what you asked the AI, what it gave you, and how you used or didn't use it in your own work. For major assignments, you'll also be required to turn in at least one piece of process evidence, an outline, annotated notes, a rough draft, revision markups, something that shows your thinking along the way. If your paper looks like it appeared out of thin air, that will be a red flag. And I reserve the right to meet with you at any time to talk through your writing process. This isn't meant to intimidate you, it's simply to ensure that you can explain your own work. If you really did the thinking and writing yourself, this conversation will be very easy. If you can't explain your own writing, it will be clear that AI or another source has done it for you. Why does this policy exist? Because writing is not just an academic hoop to jump through. It's how you develop your voice, your confidence, and your ability to communicate. No matter how young or old you are, your identity and your voice are always evolving. Writing is how you shape that voice and learn to carry it into the world. And when you write, research, and think for yourself, you actually learn. You train your brain to do something that nothing else can do for you, to think clearly, deeply, and originally. In fact, every time you wrestle with a sentence, struggle to organize your thoughts, or push through that frustration of not knowing what to say, neuroscience tells us that you are literally building new neural connections in your brain. The brain is what scientists call neuroplastic. It changes in response to use. The more you practice sustained attention, problem solving, and generating original ideas, the stronger these neural pathways become. Think of it like this. When you lift weights, your muscles get tiny tears that heal stronger than before. Writing works the same way for your brain. The tiny tears are the moments of mental strain, confusion, or even boredom when you have to keep going. And just like in the gym, that strain is where the growth happens. If you hand the process over to AI, you're skipping the workout. You get the product, but your brain stays weak. And that's why shortcuts like Spark Notes or now AI-generated essays are so dangerous. As my friend has said, Shakespeare wasn't written for Cliff's Notes. If you only ever take the summary, you miss the poetry, the rhythm, the music, the humanity of the work. You might pass a quiz, but your brain doesn't change. And without that change, you don't get that growth and you don't gain the edge in your career, in your communication, or in even becoming the person you're meant to be. As we all know, AI will keep changing and become even more powerful. Next week, next month, next semester, next year. It's going to be more advanced. But this policy is built on something timeless. The belief that your growth as a writer, a thinker, and a communicator is too valuable to outsource. And here's something I think we forget. Writing itself is a luxury. For most of human history, people couldn't read or write. Literacy was reserved for the elite. Ordinary people never had the chance to shape their thoughts on the page, to reflect, to leave behind their voice. Today, you do. You have this incredible opportunity to take what's in your mind and transform it into something lasting, powerful, something that is uniquely yours. That's not something to take lightly. It is a real gift. And when you hand that over to AI, when you let it write for you, you're giving up one of the most profoundly human privileges we've ever earned. So, whether you're a fellow instructor looking for a policy you can adapt or a student trying to understand why this matters, I hope this gives you a little clarity. Use AI, but use it wisely and responsibly, the way we've always used tools, but protect the part that makes you stronger, that makes you you. Because in the end, it's not just about the paper you turn in, it really is about who you become through the process.